There's a mental barrier that a lot of people are walking around with right now. And the scary part is most of you don't even realize it's there. But this mental barrier is quietly holding you back from making more money, and it's holding you back from actually reaching your true financial potential. We live in a society here in the United States where we are constantly comparing our lives to other people on social media. And it puts this pressure on you where it feels like everyone is leveling up faster than you. It feels like everyone is buying nicer things than you. And somehow you are always one step behind. And that pressure builds up over a long period of time and it just gets bottled up inside of your head. It's not like one day you scroll on social media and then decide everything that you've been working towards is pointless. No, it's seeing this every day for years on end, and then this constant comparison is getting burned into your subconscious. This will keep you stuck chasing quick upgrades instead of having the patience of building a sustainable, long term financial future and being thankful for what you have today. On top of that, most of us grew up being told the exact same story. Go get a stable job, stay loyal to the company because, wow, companies would never fuck you over. I'm obviously talking in my sarcastic voice here. Then all you gotta do is work hard, keep your head down, and everything will just work itself out. That has been the safe move for decades, as we all know it. And it was honestly the safe move for our parents. But I'm gonna talk about in this video how that's also a mental trap that's keeping a lot of people stuck financially. And when you layer that with the fact that our generation, and I'm speaking for Gen Z here, spends so much time in our own heads, overthinking everything, dealing with constant noise, dealing with distractions, comparison, it becomes really easy to hesitate, even second guess yourself, and never make moves that would change your current financial situation. I don't think this shift happened overnight, but if I had to guess, it really started accelerating with the rise of social media, and then got pushed into overdrive after COVID, where it felt like everyone became more isolated and more disconnected from reality. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I genuinely want the people watching this channel to win in life, not just financially, but across the board. And in this video, we're going to stay focused on the money side of things, because if you can fix how you think about money, you can completely change the trajectory of your life, in my opinion. So, what I want to do here is break down some of the mental roadblocks that might be holding you back financially, whether you realize it or not, and help you start seeing your full potential. Let's get into it. The first mental roadblock that is holding you back financially is something that doesn't get talked about enough, and it's the idea that you're playing not to lose instead of playing to actually win. What I mean by this is that most people are so focused on security, stability, avoiding risks, especially in their 20s. This will lead to building a financial life that looks safe on paper, but has very limited upside when it comes to making money. From a young age, we're conditioned to prioritize comfort over risk, where the goal becomes getting a good job, collecting that steady paycheck, and just slowly working your way up over time. But the problem is that it keeps you operating in a very, very, very narrow lane, where your income is capped and your growth is dependent on someone else deciding your worth. I think there's too many people that just lock themselves into a 9 to 5 and just go through the motions, and then next thing you know, years start feeling like weeks. And you got so many people being like, bro, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait to be done with this work week. If you find yourself just constantly counting down the hours until the weekend and drifting through the week, then I'm glad this video is stumbling along your feed and you're watching this right now. You have so much more potential, and we have just become so numb to the fact that it's totally fine to drift through your 20s financially at a 9 to 5 that is not advancing your skills and is not working towards increasing your income. That will only get you so far before you crash out. And a lot of you guys are probably feeling that right now. I'm not saying 9 to 5s are bad. I actually think they're such a great way to start boosting your income early in your 20s. However, they become really bad for you and hold you back financially when you just coast through them your entire 20s. When you are not pushing your career, trying to advance your skill sets. That's what I'm trying to talk about in this video. So, what's going to happen is instead of asking yourself, how do I increase my earning potential in a meaningful way? The people that are getting stuck through their 20s and the 9 to 5s are saying, how do I make sure I don't mess this up and not get fired? Those are two completely different mindsets that lead to two completely different outcomes. And this shows up in ways that people really just don't realize, like being afraid to switch jobs for a higher salary because the current one feels too comfortable, not negotiating your pay because you don't want to rock the boat or you don't want to have an awkward conversation with your boss, avoiding side hustles and new opportunities because there's uncertainty and hard work involved with that. Yes, it is going to take up a lot of your free time in your 20s to try to build income streams outside of your 9 to 5. Yes, you can make those decisions over and over again about not wanting to do any of this. But if you treat your 20s like you're living in a fairy tale, then you are going to be stuck wondering what to do once you reach your 30s. and start having real responsibilities for your financial life. Like if you're just coasting now, barely doing enough not to get fired, imagine the levels of stress when you're doing that and you have a family to provide for. I'm telling you now, as a 27-year-old, I think there's just too many people that are letting their 20s slip away from them without positioning themselves to get ahead financially by just coasting through. Hear me again. I'm not saying to quit a stable, good job and everyone rush into entrepreneurship. Use your 9 to 5 as a tool to boost your income. Use your 9 to 5 as a tool to start your 401k, to build your skill set, to network. Work hard in your 20s. You can't let this decade just slip by. You need to get your foundation right in your 20s and accelerate the process of building wealth by implementing the steps that I'm talking about in this video, such as picking up a side hustle for additional income streams. Be a top performer at your company so you can get promotions quicker. Look for higher paying jobs that you can leverage or move into. Develop personal skills so you can go into management. There are so many options out there for you to advance your skill set in your 20s, but unfortunately, I just need to make this video because I see too many people coasting through their 20s trying to play it safe. If you want to make more money, you have to be willing to take calculated risks and put yourself in the situations where there's a lot of upside. If you are one of those people at the 9 to 5 where you just don't feel like you're making any progress, then this might be your sign to start looking elsewhere and just poking your head around. Keep that resume updated. Playing it safe might protect you from short-term discomfort, but it will almost guarantee that you'll never break out of that financial trap, that financial rat race that a lot of us are feeling right now. And once you start shifting from a mindset of how do I avoid losing what I have to how do I create more and how do I create plentiful wealth in my 20s, everything starts to open up for you. From the opportunities you're willing to pursue to the way you think about your career, your income, and your future. Now I'm going to talk about the second mental roadblock that I believe is quietly killing a lot of people's financial progress, and that is comparison. More specifically, the constant habit of pocket watching other people instead of handling your own situation first. When you're always looking at what someone else is making, what they're driving, what they're living at, how fast they seem to be racking up money, you start making decisions based on their life instead of your own life. That's where things can start to go sideways. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes for most people that you are comparing yourself to on social media. You don't know how much debt they may be in. You don't know their stress levels. You don't know these people could be trust fund babies. You don't know if their lifestyle is even sustainable. Instead of just wishing that you were those people, because spoiler alert, you are not, you should instead focus on getting your fundamentals locked in, like increasing your income, controlling your spending, building an emergency fund, consistently investing. Don't be distracted chasing a lifestyle that you haven't earned yet. A lot of people will skip the basics entirely and try to jump straight into the highlight reel, and then wonder why nothing is sticking for them long term. You don't need to be doing what someone else is doing right now. You need to be doing what your situation requires you to do. Because personal finance is exactly that. It is personal. And the fastest way to stall your progress is by trying to copy someone else's timeline. The third mental roadblock that is holding you back financially is this belief that you either need to have everything figured out before you start, or that somehow you're not ready yet to make more money. And this is one of the most dangerous mental roadblocks of them all. I've made plenty of videos explaining the opportunity cost of waiting to invest, and the reason it keeps coming up in my videos is because it's just that important to talk about. A lot of people spend years overthinking their next move and trying to plan everything out perfectly, telling themselves they'll start investing once they feel more confident, or they'll start investing when the timing is right. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here. The perfect timing never comes. There will always be a trip you'd rather spend your money on, that night out with the friends every week. Oh, now it's the holidays, so you might need money to buy presents. You see how quickly you can come up with 1,000 different reasons as to why it is not the best time to invest. When in reality, all you got to do is just take small action, even in small amounts, and it would put you in a better position than just sitting on the sideline. This will not happen overnight, of course, but the discipline is going to carry over to all the other aspects of your life too. At some point, you are going to have to accept that you're just going to figure it out as you go, and that taking imperfect action is going to beat doing nothing. I mean, take this YouTube channel for instance. I could have sat back and just cherry picked everything, and then compared myself to the people at the top of my niche and never do anything about it. I could have easily made the excuse of, oh, I'm too tired after work to make this video today. I don't know how to video edit, it seems hard. I'm running out of video ideas to generate. My list of excuses could have gone on, but one day I decided enough was enough and I started making these videos. Was I perfect? Hell no. I am still not even close to where I want to be, However, I am learning the whole way through and over time improving my communication and delivery of these videos. You see, once you start building momentum and start shifting your mindset from I need to be ready to I'll become ready by doing, you're going to gain confidence through experience. And you put yourself in a position where making more money actually becomes so much more possible instead of something you just think about or something you just dream about. At the end of the day, nobody is coming to save you financially, and nobody else's paycheck is paying for your bills. So, constantly pocket watching is gonna just be wasted energy that could be going towards improving your own situation. Learn to put your head down, focus on your own numbers, get the basics right first, and you're gonna build a foundation that will actually last. Don't let your 20s slip away. This is the most important decade for wealth building, in my opinion. So that's all I have for this video. If you have any other mental barriers that are limiting your financial independence that I did not cover in this video, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear about your situation and help you through it. If you stayed till the end of this video, thank you so much for the support. As always, I'll catch you all in the next one.